This is Hawkhead Cemetery, and where I am right now, the gatehouse is there, and this is the immediate rows just as you come in the cemetery, and all around, as far as the eye can see, is a trail of absolute desecration of all these graves. It's completely disgusting what's been done in here by Renfrewshire Council, and anybody who's involved in toppling these graves, whether they think they're doing it for safety or whatever the purpose is that they are undertaking this task, they really need to assess their choices, because this is people's ancestors, and their final resting place has been totally and utterly destroyed by vandals. And it's just vandalisation, complete disregard for any of these people, and their stones have just been destroyed. This one here, totally knackered, like this whole patch. You're lucky if there's every second stone standing, and they've just been destroyed, toppled over to clear way. And the question that is really needing to be asked is, what is the purpose of this? Because this is not anything at all to do with safety. It's really not. This is a joke. Not a funny joke, but alluding to saying that this is a safety issue gets people who would get a punch in the mouth and a severe doing at any other juncture off the hook. Now, my dad is buried in this cemetery, not in these rows, but this is happening to newer graves. Some of these graves are at a stage where the time of being in the ground is approaching 100 years. Not all of them, definitely not all of them. These are graves, some of them, which are maybe fairly recent as well. I think the most recent one I've seen is one in the same row where my dad happens to be buried, and that is not even 20 years old. And what they're doing is they put these, I'm going to zoom in so I have to bend down here. They put these advisory notices, so you get a yellow one which says it's undergone a regular inspection and you have to phone that number. However, should you not phone that number, this is to test and see whether there's still relatives invested in the grave, and then try to see if I can find one that's been earmarked. You get a red advisory sticker or tag, which there was loads of them in here, quite a lot, but funnily enough, now that I'm actually looking for them, I'm struggling to bloom and find them. I'll have a look and see if I can see them. I'm still looking for the red tag. There is one, I've seen one fairly close by to my dad's, but I don't really want to go around that way just now because my car's parked in there. But this whole cemetery used to be gorgeous. It used to be so tidy, well kept. And coming up here felt peaceful. It did, it felt peaceful to come and say whatever you needed to say to your loved one. And now I come up here wondering, is my dad's grave going to be next? He's only been in there 25 years, but there are ones run about the same age which have been earmarked to be toppled, and I will not be happy if I find out anything's happened to my dad's grave, and I better never see any of the workers up here toppling them, because I might end up going to prison if that's the case, because it's absolute disgrace. Like, I've been talking about this for a couple of years now, since I first noticed what was going on in here, and the idea that it's for safety is just a complete and utter joke, because people are more likely to be tripping on these. It's a hazard, an absolute hazard. Like the big ones that are laying out on the grass, it's just a joke. I was in the cemetery earlier in Glasgow at Cardonald, where the wee boy that died met his death. Clearly this is the reason that the council are using as an excuse to clear these graves. However, none of these graves looked like this a couple of years ago, and the ones where there's trees and the roots have been underneath the stone and they're sitting on shaky ground, you can understand could potentially be a safety issue. But the majority of these graves are on flat ground, and it's not even big ones. Sometimes it's wee tiny stones that, whilst they might break your leg or hurt your ankle, they're not going to kill anybody, and even they've been toppled. And it's so disgraceful to me. And I don't know what kind of worker in this cemetery, so if it's somebody watching this that actually works here and you're going to be pushing over people's graves, shame on you, because that's absolute scumbag behaviour. I don't give a damn what bills you've got to pay. Some people don't have the luxury of having a gravestone, so they rely on the neighbouring stones to find where their loved one happens to be buried. And if all the markers are gone, nobody's going to know who's buried where, and then these people will just cease to be. Any record of them gone. So this cemetery, which was once well kept and very, very nice to come and visit, is now an absolute shambles. And I don't for 1 minute believe the safety nonsense. I think the council are clearing off old graves where they think there's no remaining relatives, so they can repurpose the graves. And we're going to find out probably sooner than we think what the actual purpose of this is. But what it's no safety. Definitely no safety. I cannot find for the life of me any of these red markers, so I don't know where they've all gone. They are here somewhere, but right now I can't see any, so I'm just going to sign off.